Our hopes of winning a second trophy were dealt a crushing blow in the last episode of Season 3 of our realistic Borussia Dortmund career mode. That's right, after an unbeaten streak that stretched back almost 4 months, we finally lost a game in the month of March. Unfortunately, that game was against the league leaders. We had a chance to leapfrog Bayern Munich at the top of the Bundesliga and occupy first place for I think the first time in the series, but instead we failed to beat them and they extended their lead over us to 7 points. We did at least manage to beat Bayer Leverkusen to tighten our grip on second place, but 2 poor performances against Barcelona meant we also crashed out of the Champions League, which means our only objective now is to put as many points on the board as we can in our remaining 7 games and try, against the odds, to narrow that gap and overcome Bayern Munich at the top of the table. And as if the odds weren't stacked against us enough, we're going to have to do all of that without Karim Adeyemi, without Thiago Thomas, without Marcel Sabitzer, and without our captain Felix Metscher. But we've got 4 of those 7 games to get to in today's episode. Our home match against Stuttgart will be our featured game of the episode. I'll show you highlights of our trip to Augsburg, and we'll be quick simming games against Union Berlin and first tier against Werder Bremen. Now, unlike Adeyemi, Sabitzer and Metscher, we are expecting Thiago Thomas back at some point this season. He's not fit enough to start yet, though, against Werder Bremen. So it will be Yusuf and Moukoko alongside Max Bayer up front. And Moukoko does score one of our 2 goals, each of our 2 goals, to give us a win in our first game. Werder Bremen pulled one back through top 8 minutes from time, but our 2-goal lead at that point was enough to secure the victory. And with the squad so thin at the moment, we'll be the same starting 11 to take the pitch against Stuttgart. So without further ado, let's head over to Signal Iduna Park. Make sure we do our job. Make sure we put the ball in Bayern Munich's court by putting another 3 points on the board. Is winning the Bundesliga still a realistic expectation? It's certainly not a realistic expectation. Is it still a realistic hope at the very least? We probably need to win every single game from here until the end of the season if it is going to become a reality. And even then, it still may not be enough. Max Bayer immediately looking to get into the box. Max Bayer starting up front today. Kaoru Matoma starting out on the right-hand side. We're going to need goals from Max Bayer in the run-in this season if we're going to stand any chance at all of winning the Bundesliga. But as I was saying, even if we win every single game from now until the end of the season, still might not be enough to overcome Bayern. They've had a historic season. We're so unlucky not to be top of the Bundesliga at this point. We've had such a good year. We've lost, I believe, 2 games in the Bundesliga. We are second top goal scorers in the league. As Stuttgart look to get in down this left-hand side with Enzo Mio, who we know can cause so many issues. Has caused us issues in the series before. But we are second top goal scorers in the league. We are joint second in terms of fewest goals conceded. Kuto's run is a little too narrow there. We have the top goal scorer in the league in Max Bayer, comfortably. And we've lost only 2 games so far. Drawn 3, I believe. I think we've won 75% of our games, roughly. It's just Bayern Munich have just had a historic season. Haven't lost a game. Top scorers. think, fewest goals conceded, joint with a couple of other teams, I believe. Any other year, and we would likely be top of the Bundesliga right now. The one season that we put it all together, Bayern Munich just go absolutely Super Saiyan. But we will do our best to put 3 points on the board, again here against Stuttgart, and in each of the remaining fixtures. And we will just ask the question of Bayern. As we said, we will put the ball firmly in Bayern's court. We will force them to win each of their remaining games. They do, of course, have some points to play with. 7 points to be exact. And they did win their game in the previous game week as well. So those 3 points against Werder Bremen just allowing us to tread water at the moment. Vanyaman down the right-hand side for Stuttgart now. Cancelo couldn't quite get in to block that. It's a good challenge from Martel. Mio did take a tumble, and the referee does blow his whistle. Today's video is sponsored by Enigma Football, the UK's leading supplier of football shirt mystery boxes. Whether you're looking for a fun way to expand your own football shirt collection, or you're looking for a unique gift for the diehard football fan in your life, Enigma Football have got you covered. Their mystery boxes start at just $34.99, which is almost half the standard retail price, and you can be 100% sure that their shirts are authentic because they get them straight from the clubs and manufacturers themselves. And you can reduce that price even further by using code LAMBZY at the checkout for 10% off your first order. That code applies to any single football shirt mystery box, and it also applies to the first month of any mystery box subscription package, where you'll receive a fresh new shirt on your doorstep every single month. You can be sure you'll get a shirt that you like too. You can ask Enigma Football to send you a shirt from a specific league with a specific colour or pattern, or to avoid certain teams. And if you still don't like what they send, you have 60 days to either return or exchange it. So head over to Enigma Football and place your order today. The link is in the description, and be sure to use code LAMBZY at the checkout for 10% off your first order. Shout out to Enigma Football for sponsoring the video and for hooking me up with a couple of shirts, including a Dortmund shirt for this series. Now let's get back to the video. It is going to be Mio with the free kick as well. You would assume Mittelstadt instead lays it off, and Anton, wearing the captain's armband today, is there to make the block. Mittelstadt again. Mio on the edge of the box. Omoracic gets out to him and he cracks the bar. And thankfully the rebound harmlessly wide. But a vicious shot from Enzo Mio, who again is putting his stamp on this game. And he hits the woodwork within 15 minutes. Some really poor performances in the previous episode. Not an ideal performance away from home. What a ball that is. Won't quite reach Jamie Gittins. This could though. Gittins in behind. Goes harmlessly through to the keeper, unfortunately. Not an ideal performance away from home against Barcelona, but an absolutely atrocious worst performance of the series against Bayern Munich. Really, it's going to define our season. We said that in the previous episode. We were hoping that it could define it in a far more positive way, that it could put us over the top, allow us to take that next step towards winning the Bundesliga, put us in the driver's seat, really. And instead, it really collapsed our season. Gittins in behind. Arne Engels finds him. Good defending from Stuttgart. Gittins couldn't quite bring it down on his chest. Arne Engels and Eric Martel started in midfield today, of course. The two young midfielders brought in to kind of be the future of our midfield. Certainly Eric Martel was brought in early in the series to kind of be the long-term replacement for Marcel Sabitzer. He's not really come close to growing into that just yet. But he's going to have an opportunity, his first real extended opportunity to make his mark on the team. Arne Engels we've been a little more impressed with since he joined more recently. Matoma. That's by with a decent run, but covered well by Stuttgart. And Engels just plays it too far in front of João Cancelo, which is a shame because Cancelo would have had options there. Would have been in a decent position to shoot on the edge of the box if the opportunity presented itself. And if not, he had Jamie Gittins pretty much unmarked. Just a man over. Mio, good challenge, Anton. Absolutely picks his pocket. And Matoma finds Engels. Again, we're going to be playing on the front foot today. It's Cancelo looks to slip it through from Makoko. And again, I think the keeper's just going to get there, and he does. Good idea from Cancelo. Good run from Makoko. Starting to work a few opportunities now. Good challenge again from Engels. And again, we're going to look to get on the front foot immediately. Gittins can't win that, though. It was an ambitious pass, to be fair. Probably one that was ill-advised, ultimately. Because the chance of success was so low. But if we did succeed with that pass, it would have caused some real issues. Mio puts it wide. Very narrow angle. Pretty sure Petrovic had it covered. But an end-to-end game in the first half an hour or so. And I think it's probably going to continue for the duration of the 90, to be fair. Engels out to Gittins, who's one-on-one with Vanyaman and beats him. He's going to have the pace to skip away from him too. And he's going to pull it back towards Makoko. But just crowded out by Stuttgart defenders, really. And now Gittins is out of position. And he's used all his energy on that attack. Cancelo, thankfully, has sat back. And has cut that out. Not sure if Gittins is going to have the legs to drive forward again. He does, though. And again, he's looking for an option square. Makoko well marked. Max Bayer the same. And again, Gittins turns over possession in the final third, unfortunately. Stuttgart work it down their right-hand side once more. Surprised that Enzo Mio is still at Stuttgart, to be fair. Very, very good player. Very highly rated. Very high potential in the game. Would have thought he'd be an appealing target for a number of big clubs. Toma through to Engels, finds Makoko and Kuto on the far side. No, it's Matoma with Kuto now on the overlap. Lofts it into the box in search of Makoko. Can't quite get his head to it. Mio once again in an advanced position, waiting for support, and just lays the ball off. Taking up some interesting positions again, Mio. We saw this last time we played Stuttgart in a featured game. We saw it also in the Bayern Munich game in the previous episode with the likes of Musiala and Luis Diaz. But Mio, one of those players that drifts from left to right and is difficult to keep track of, difficult to mark man to man. And again, he's pulling the strings here. Good challenge, Anton. And again. But still, Mio persists. What a challenge from Engels. And Makoko has to break. Matoma in support. And he finds Matoma. And we've got Max Bayer in the box, kind of. But Matoma just lays it off for Kuto. He finds Makoko once again. He can't get the shot away. Stuttgart defending deep and in numbers around their own penalty area. There's quite a distance between the back line and the front line. Ordinarily, that's how we play, but it's how Stuttgart are playing here today as well. They're leaving players like Mio forward, but around their own penalty area, they're defending very, very deep. Makoko. Gittins slots it through. And it's a good challenge again. Just excellent defending one-on-one in the final third from Stuttgart so far. Has prevented us from creating any real goal-scoring opportunities. And Stuttgart dominating possession here as well. We have given up possession in recent games. The longer this season has gone on, the more direct we've played. The more that we've settled into this 4-2-4 system, the more we've wanted to play kind of direct attacking football. And it's been working out well for us, to be fair. But when we can't create those opportunities, that's where the system kind of falls flat. And we haven't been able to create any clear opportunities in that first half. And it does mean we're going to go in all square. Stuttgart, a couple of half chances. Mio, of course, hit the bar. And he sent one wide from a narrow angle. But a fairly uneventful first half. If you're enjoying the game and today's episode, please take a second to like the video. And if you want to see more realistic FC25 content, be sure to subscribe, not just to catch the next episode of this series, but other realistic career modes, realistic rebuilds, slider updates that might be dropping in the future. And if you want to get ahead of the curve and see those kinds of videos before anybody else, consider becoming a 12th man member of the channel. Membership starts at just $1.99 a month and grants you exclusive early access to all new videos, with tier rewards scaling up from there, and including the possibility of being featured in my career mode saves. Thank you to everyone who is already supporting the channel through their membership. It is genuinely very much appreciated and helps the channel to run. But now let's head back out for the second half. The unfortunate thing about our squad being so thin at the moment is we don't really have any good options on the bench. The likes of Arne Engels, Karol Matoma, those are our options on the bench ordinarily. Max Bayer, back stick. Gittens finds in 1-0 Borussia Dortmund. Straight from the kickoff. Max Bayer with yet another goal. That's exactly what we needed to begin this second half. Excellent play from Jamie Gittens. He's been a little inconsistent this season, but when he's been good, he's been very good, and that is a hell of a ball and a hell of a header. Max Bayer putting his head where it hurts, challenging the Stuttgart defender, but wins the header and places it expertly just inside that far post. And we actually didn't register a shot in the first half, according to the match facts. And it's taken us 90 seconds to register a shot here in the second half. And that shot has produced a goal. A goal that could easily give us all 3 points in this game, based on the way that Stuttgart played in the first half. Again, they were decent, but not spectacular by any means. It's not like we were under the cosh in the first half. We didn't put in a good performance in the first period. But it's not like Stuttgart dominated us by any means. It was just a pretty uneventful, scrappy first period. That could well change though, of course. It's changed immediately here for us. And so that could provoke a reaction from Stuttgart as well. And it's provoked a reaction from the bench at the very least. The Stuttgart manager making a change here just 5 minutes into the second period, as the corner will be delivered into the box and Petrovic comes to claim. Throws the ball out immediately to Matoma, who immediately gets his pocket picked. I thought we could turn and break there, and the opportunity was on. Matoma just couldn't quite bring the ball under his spell and turn before the challenge came in from the Stuttgart defender though. And here is that goal from Max Bayer again, 25 in 29. And yet we're not top of the table. Unreal season from Max Bayer. Kuto, Omaracic, Anton just finds Cancelo, and Gittens out on the left-hand side. Will just drive. Does now have Yusufa Moukoko for support. Vanyaman apparently is as quick as Jamie Gittens, surprisingly. Cancelo from range. A little too high. Had the curl. Looked to be decently placed towards that top corner, but just didn't have the dip. But promising signs here 10 minutes into the second half. We don't need a second goal, to be fair. 3 points is enough, and I'll certainly take a 1-0 win. But as we've seen so many times this season, we do struggle to keep clean sheets. So a second goal, an insurance goal, is always going to be useful. Coco, can we get Bayer in the box once more? Yes, we can. Coco hasn't quite found him though. Decent effort from the cross. And it does fall to a Stuttgart defender rather than Moukoko. And Couto can't quite win that header. He leaps, but not quite tall enough. Good challenge, Omoracic. And Petrovic will just hook clear. And Matoma will bring the ball down. Lay it into the path of Arne Engels, who surely is fouled there. Referee, no interest. So Omoracic and Anton will just settle down. Martel and Engels. Might as well keep possession a little bit if Stuttgart are going to sit back now. They were pressing intently immediately after we scored. But it looks like they're dialing it back just a bit. Oh, Moukoko can't quite get there. Whoever that centre-back is, he's had a real game. He's had a real game. Just completely clamping Youssef and Moukoko. Doing a decent job on Jamie Gittens when he cuts inside as well. And it will be a Stuttgart throw. Van der Black is the centre-back's name. Unreal performance from him. Standout player, defensively at the very least for Stuttgart. Enzo Mio, as we've said, continues to be the standout player going forward. Matoma. Just ran into trouble there. And my eyes fixed on Matoma on the far side of the field, who was in a lot of space and was preparing to make a run in behind. Here is Matoma. Space to drive. Moukoko in support. And Max Bayer. It does fall for Bayer. Can't bring it under control. Moukoko tries to poke it clear as well. And Max Bayer has picked up a knock. I'm not sure when that occurred. And we're going to have to keep an eye on that. But if we're going to have any chance of catching Bayern Munich at the top of the table, we cannot afford to lose Max Bayer. We've already lost 3 of our best, most influential players. We cannot afford to lose the Bundesliga's top goal scorer. Moukoko, driving run. Slays it off for Engels, who works it wide to Couto, who just has to nod it down to Martel, who cuts inside and finds Moukoko once again. It's tight, but Bayer is the recipient. Martel. Stuttgart, as we said, defending deep, compact when the ball is in and around their own penalty area. Cancelo chips it out to Jamie Gittens though, who drives forward. It just has to turn back. Moukoko. And it's Martel on the edge of the box, and it's a curling shot from the edge. That's exactly where we would want the likes of Marcel Sabitzer. Because that's not Martel's game. He's a holding midfielder. Decent effort, to be fair. Just got his head down, got his shoulders over the ball. Got solid contact. Just too central, too close to the goalkeeper. But 70 minutes into the game, Stuttgart are going to make their second change. It's going to be Lozano to come on. And we're going to make a couple of changes here as well. Jan Couto will stay on the field for a little longer, but he's likely to be the next player off. But now it's going to be Jamie Gittens and the injured Max Bayer to leave the field. Julian Duranville on the left-hand side. Daniel Buzzko on up front alongside Youssef and Moukoko, who also probably could do with making way in the next round of substitutions, but I'm not sure we've got a player we can bring on in his place. Moukoko, you have to be making the run wide there. The space is wide. It's where Duranville thought he was going. Instead, the run was narrow. What a challenge from Cancelo. Nice pass from Duranville, finding Moukoko, who lays it off for Engels. And Martel will drive. Play it into the feet of Buzzko, who finds Matoma wide right. He just holds the ball. Finds Buzzko once again. And there's Martel. Cancelo in an advanced position. Finds Duranville. Good feet from Duranville. And Makoko will loft it up. It's a poor cross. It's a really poor cross. Buzzko, to be fair, not the best target to aim for, but the cross has to be better than that. Lozano, the substitute, finds Mio. And it's good pressing from Duranville. Doesn't force a mistake from Stuttgart, though. Couto one-on-one. Does a good job, to be fair. And Martel just puts the ball out of play. And Stuttgart will make their third and final change of the game, choosing to leave 2 players on the bench. We will make another 2 changes here as we approach the final 10 minutes of the game as well. 2 defenders to come on. 2 fullbacks, Kivior and Frankowski. Jan Couto will make way, but it's going to be João Cancelo to go up and play right midfield at this point in time, because Makoko has left the field. We don't really have an alternative option on the bench to bring on up front. So Matoma is alongside Daniel Buzzko. And here is Matoma. Looking for a run in behind from João Cancelo there. Very much out of position. Playing right wing for us at the moment, but don't really have any other options, to be honest. It was that or Sally Özcan. Oh, and that's a poor pass. Really poor pass. Stuttgart still looking to equalise. I imagine they're probably going to start piling the pressure on now as we enter the final 5 or so minutes of the game. There can't be much more time than that. Petrovic throws it out quickly to João Cancelo. Frankowski on the overlap, and he's got pace and fresh legs. And he drives Frankowski. And he shoots, and it's blocked. Both of our strikers just kind of held their positions there. They made runs initially, and then as soon as Frankowski was in a position to pull the ball back, kind of held their runs. We needed a run across the 6-yard box there. Free kick in a decent area, though. Late in the game, which João Cancelo will deliver. Chance to put this game to bed, and it was into a dangerous area from Cancelo. Doesn't win the second ball, though. Van der Black finds Vanyaman. The Ramville dropping in to defend, just like we need him to at this point in the game, and he will just drift inside to take the option of Enzo Mio away. I'd much rather have the ball at the feet of Lozano. Kivior one-on-one with Lozano, does a good job initially and then falls to the ground, but Frankowski hooks clear, and Cancelo will just be able to bring the ball up the pitch. Finds Matoma. He finds Duranville, who will just keep the ball. Duranville once again. We can get this down into the corner. I wouldn't hate it by any means. And Duranville beats Vanyaman into the box. Good strength to hold off the challenges of the Stuttgart defender. Goes down. The home fans want a penalty. Again, the referee has no interest. And again, we have an injury. This time to Arne Engels. I literally don't know what we would do for the remaining games if we lost both Max Bayer and Arne Engels. Mio. Frankowski forces the ball back. 2 minutes of added time. Both have now elapsed. We have to hear the final whistle here. And we do. So we steal a win from Stuttgart. Certainly feels like we stole it. Stuttgart keeper can't believe it. And to be fair, we probably don't deserve 3 points in this game. Stuttgart weren't spectacular by any means. Both teams with pretty poor performances, but Stuttgart's, you have to say, slightly less poor than less poor than ours. But we just stole a goal. Caught Stuttgart napping at the start of the second half. That's going to be enough to give us a win. And another 3 points. We'll have to see how Bayern Munich got on in their game. So the bad news is that Bayern Munich won their game 3-0. So they continue to be 7 points ahead of us at the top of the Bundesliga. The good news, however, is that both Max Bayer and Arne Engels just suffered very minor injuries. They're only going to be out for 5 days. That does mean each of the two are available to face Augsburg in our next game of the episode. Just one change to the previous starting 11. Ozan Kabak comes in alongside Anton at centre-back. We got off to the worst possible start in this one. A slow, lazy, lackadaisical start to the game gave Augsburg an early lead. But that goal was enough to wake us up, and we would have an equaliser just 10 minutes later through João Cancelo. Cancelo has been more than solid defensively, but we've been waiting for him to make an impact going forward. We've been waiting in particular for him to pop up in these kinds of areas and score these kinds of goals. And with the 2-1 lead, we were flying. Yusufa Moukoko making it 3-1 just before the halftime break. But we allowed Augsburg back into the game late. Valdemar Anton giving them a penalty, which Ioannidis dispatched. And then with just 3 minutes left on the clock, some more poor defending, failure to clear, gave Abel Ruiz an opportunity to equalise. But then up stepped our star man, Maximilian Bayer, to rescue all 3 points. The initial shot was saved from Daniel Buzzko. Bayer was on hand to tap it in. And with just seconds on the clock, that goal would prove crucial and would give us another 3 points. Which brings us to our fourth and final game of the episode against Union Berlin, where again 3 points are going to be essential. And we almost failed to get all 3 points in the previous game. We do fail to come away with all 3 here. Moukoko getting on the score sheet. Timber equalising. Moukoko again putting us a goal ahead. But Berlin again equalising 5 minutes later. And of course, Bayern Munich won their game, so they extend their lead at the top even further, now to 9 points. So with 3 games remaining, they are 9 points ahead. We would have to win all 3 of our remaining games. They would have to lose all 3, and we would have to overcome a 5-goal difference if we were to take top spot from them. So it's looking like we're going to finish second. We will have to make sure that we hold on to second place, though, and we don't relinquish that to Bayer Leverkusen, who are hot on our tails in the final episode of the season. So we'll have to take as many points as we can from RB Leipzig, from Holstein Kiel, and from Frankfurt. But it does look like ultimately our season is going to end in disappointment. You'll have to let me know if you would like a 4th season with Borussia Dortmund. I've put up a poll in the community tab here on YouTube and in my Discord channel to see if you would like a 4th season here with Borussia Dortmund, to see if we can finally take that next step and win either the Bundesliga or the Champions League, or if you'd like to see a new series. So either go and vote in those polls or drop your opinions in the comments below. But one final episode remains here in Season 3, so I will hope to see you there. Take it easy.